Good morning. In a strange twist of events and something that doesn't normally happen in the House of Representatives, we're going to start early. It's shocking, and we have our people here, so this subcommittee will come to order. I want to thank our witnesses for being here today to examine the VA's special adaptive housing, adaptive automobile, and adaptive sports programs to ensure these programs are effectively serving veterans across the country. I look forward to continuing the nonpartisan spirit of the subcommittee with Ranking Member Pappas. Chris and I were just talking here about some stuff to ensure the VA's adaptive programs are modernized and work for the needs of today's veterans. The purpose of today's hearing is to examine how VA provides the special adaptive housing program, adaptive automobiles, and adaptive sports programs to our veterans. The Special Adaptive Housing Program, or SAH, plays an important role in providing customizable adaptations for severely service-connected disabled veterans to adapt their homes to make them more accessible to lead their lives comfortably. The small but vital program provides these true heroes with the ability not only to stay and live in their home of their choice, but to continue to live more independently. Additionally, VA's Adaptive Automobile Program provides disabled veterans with vehicle modifications. Through this program, veterans can safely operate their vehicle independently, hopefully getting back to the workforce and live fulfilling lives. VA's Adaptive Sports Program serves thousands of veterans across the country and plays an important role in disabled veterans regaining their independence, bettering their quality of life, and improving their overall mental health and wellness. This program also provides opportunities for disabled veterans to participate in events such as wheelchair games, golf clinics, and many other sporting events that promote a healthy lifestyle. This Congress, my subcommittee has championed key legislation regarding VA's adaptive programs. H.R. 522, the Deliver for Veterans Act, championed by my friend and from the great territory of Guam, Representative Moylan, would cover the shipping cost of the delivery of an adaptive automobile. This legislation passed the House in April. Additionally, Representative Barrett is leading a bill, H.R. 1364, the Assist Act, which would provide more flexibility for veterans to access the specific adaptive automobile equipment they might need. Finally, Representative King-Hines will have a bill on our next legislative hearing to enhance the SAH program, and she is from the Northern Mariana Islands, absolutely beautiful part of the world. When President Trump and Secretary Collins stated that this is the time to end the Biden era and make the VA put veterans first, these are the programs we're talking about to improve veterans' lives. Instead of focusing on political theater, which we're just not going to do here, and sound bites, me and Chris, are going to lead this subcommittee to make sure that we accomplish the mission, and the mission is the veterans. It's not us, and it ain't the VA. It's the veterans. And I know that Secretary Collins shares my sentiments, and I'm very proud that he's there. I look forward to hearing more about the VA's adaptive program and how the Trump administration plans to keep these programs moving forward. I now yield to my friend and ranking member, Mr. Pappas, for his opening remarks. Okay, I just have some real serious, basic rubber meeting road questions here. This subcommittee is also responsible for the Transition Assistance Program. And it's just baffling to me that any veteran, especially someone who's being medically discharged, is unaware of these programs. I mean, that is a galactic failure. So we're going to fix that. These programs will be introduced into the TAP program. And for someone not to have thought of this earlier is shameful. I don't want anybody leaving the service, and ma'am, you said that people are being medically discharged and they still don't know about these things. And sure, it's great peer-to-peer, veteran talking to veteran, saying, these programs are available, but no. Dr. Schulten, how long have you been at the VA?
I've been working for the VA for 27 years.
Dr. McCardle?
I started as a trainee 30 years ago.
Mr. Latona?
7 years, sir.
7? So we got roughly 60 years worth of experience at the VA, and no one thought about talking about this in the TAP program? Okay, we will do better. Mr. Barrett brought up some very salient points about payment. We had one dental clinician in the network for community care. I went there, it was an hour drive. It took the VA so long to pay him that they dropped out. Mr. Latona, we're not going to look into this anymore. We're not going to have meetings. We're not going to coordinate. We're not doing any of that. I'm going to, I request unanimous consent to enter this into the record. Hearing no objection, so ordered. All right, so I'm going to give you these things, and you're going to take them back to the office, and you're going to look into them, and you're going to pay these people. And I am, and I'm sure Chris is, we haven't talked about it before, can I speak for him possibly, we're willing to accept some risk because if you can't figure out how to pay somebody, they're going to leave. And that what Mr. Barrett said will come to fruition. And then my Marine brother back there, who's grievously injured in combat outside of Balad, right? That's right, 2005, won't be able to get his house fixed or his vehicles fixed because of administrative inertia. So I'm gonna give this to you. I'm also gonna send a note to the secretary. So with 60 years of experience, you can figure this out. It's literally signing a check. So, Mr. Latona, that's not a question. I'm just telling you what's gonna happen.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You said, Mr. Latona, that there's an expedited process for people with ALS and some other things. What is that process?
Yes, sir. Thanks for the question. So with most projects, we walk through a entire scope of a project. Veterans will usually have a little more time. They'll want to take time to find a builder that they want to work with. We enable them to do that, and then we help facilitate that conversation to identify which adaptations they might need.
Okay,
With
Mr. Latona, stop it. Okay, there should be no expedited process. Every process should be expedited. So just because a veteran is not going to die within 2 weeks doesn't mean you should not be running down the road at 1,000 miles an hour to get that fixed. Agreed. And it's within your power. Like, it's something you can do, and you need to do it. So the average time is what, from the time someone's discharged to their home is a place where they can live? What's the average time?
Sir, I'm not aware of that time, but I know from application to delivery could be somewhere between 6 to 12 months for specially adapted housing projects.
Right, so TAP is supposed to be done 6 months prior, and then it's iterative. So why didn't that application process start while they're still in the military? Can you answer that question?
Well, we do work closely actually with the services and Wounded Warrior programs when we're identified.
That's
there's
a civilian
process.
organization, sir. You're the...
No, I'm sorry. Within the service, each service has their own Wounded Warrior program.
Yeah.
Within them, that's
Okay.
who we work with
Not the
directly.
Wounded Warrior Project. Okay, we're going to do a second round, and I will adhere to my own rule. My time is about to expire, and the chair will now recognize Ranking Member Pappas for 5 minutes. So for 5 minutes. Okay, so you just said that when the VA gets a bill, you have 15 days to pay it. Is that right?
That's true, sir, yeah.
Okay. Well, on this list that you'll have, we got Kansas City, Missouri, 501 days. El Paso, 246. Dallas, Texas, 362. These are all days. Dallas, 823 days. Phoenix, 256 days. 530 days for another thing in Phoenix, Waco, 96. So I was an enlisted guy. So, math isn't my forte, but I'm just gonna say that I think all of those are greater than the number 15.
I agree, sir.
Okay. Unacceptable, sir. Can you walk me through the billing process? What happens?
So I can walk you through most of it. Some of it might be on the VHA side, but where I'll pick it up from is once the VHA has identified the specific adaptations that were required, they will coordinate with the vendor to make sure the vendor understands what's needed and what the cost of those are. Once that entire package is complete, it goes to the vendor, and then it makes its way to VA to pay it.
Okay, what does that mean, sir? Makes it
It's
way
emailed.
through-
It's emailed from the local office, so the office that is actually performing the analysis, determining what adaptations are required, emails it directly to the Support Services Division, which is an office within VA that handles the payments. It's a few minutes.
And how does a check get cut?
Check gets cut at that point. It goes over to our Support Services Division, who pays all vendors for all services.
How many people are there?
I'm not aware, sir. These are not where the bottlenecks are. Obviously, bottlenecks are somewhere up or down the stream somewhere, not in those little transactions, and that's
Sir,
where the
I guarantee you, if we had open kimono with your stuff, that I could figure this problem out in an afternoon. Like line and block chart, disabled veteran, vendor, payment. That's all we're talking about. This is bananas. So I'm going to say this again. The Veterans Affairs, or I'm going to say it, the Veterans Affairs Administration is not a jobs program. It ain't. Neither is the military. So if we have 9 bosses, Bob, that's a problem. So we have to look at the structure of the VA through the lens of getting that Marine what he needs, not you, or you, or you. Are individual projects capped? Like a home, is there a financial cap?
Each grant program has its own maximum grant amount available. For especially adapted housing, it's $121,000 this year.
Per home?
Yes.
What about for a vehicle?
I would defer to Dr. Skolton on that.
There is no cap on the vehicle modifications. It's based specifically on the required adaptations in the prescription from the driver rehab specialist.
Okay, so riffing off Mr. Barrett's comments about inflation and whatnot, when was that cap of $120,000 per unit established?
October 1st. Each year, we have the ability to raise it based upon the cost of construction index.
What was it last October?
117,000.
So you raised it $3,000.
It's based upon an index, an industry index, right?
Even though housing costs and construction costs have increased by like 30 to 40% in the last few years. Okay, we need to really look at that. Like who said you're gonna use the consumer price index? Is that us or you?
For the vehicle modifications, that's in our regulations.
So you did that. What about for the homes?
For the homes, the statute directs we use a cost of construction index.
Right.
And we selected the one that we're currently using because it was the most competitive.
But it's not tied to inflation.
Right, it's tied to the cost of materials and labor across the country. Right.
Okay.
By a third party.
Check. I want to see that on paper. Like, I want to see that on paper, either yours or ours or whatever. Let's fix this. Okay, well, my time has expired. I'd like to yield to Ranking Member Pappas if he has any closing statements, sir.
No, I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, for this panel, obviously. Okay, well, here's what I'm going to tell you. We got to do better. These things are, and listen, I'm looking in the mirror too. I should have figured out this TAP thing, 2 years ago. That is a Department of Defense issue, that's clear, but somebody who's been working, or a group of people for collectively 60 years should have been like, hey, Congress people, we can't get the word out. So that's on me too. I'm pointing 2 fingers, one at you and one at me. And I want you to hyper-focus on these issues because all of these problems are fixable. And if we're not, the status quo is not acceptable. Our wounded veterans are trapped in a chair for the rest of their lives. You know what I mean? They can't speak, they can't see, they can't walk. They're grotesquely disfigured, by burns, and they can't move well, and they're having mental health issues. And all of this is about them. And so I really want you guys to do some soul searching and figure out how to do this better. Establish metrics. I mean, do you have any quantifiable metric at all for anything you're doing? You do?
Yes, sir, we do.
Okay, I would like to see them. All right, with that, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. You're excused, and we're going to impanel our second group here. Progressively angrier as these hearings are going on, because this is just completely unacceptable. There's no other way to describe this. It's just unacceptable. You're never getting your arm back, Marine. And for a bureaucrat to blow that off is not okay. My veterans are not beggars, and they will not be treated as such. Hey, Dutch, give that to Scrimshire, that's my personal cell phone number. You give it to that Green Beret. Tell him to call me. If he ever has another issue with the VA, I swear to God, I'll go down there and strangle somebody.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, good. On that note, Mr. Owens, when is this next Soldier's Ride and where is it?
Actually, we have them all over the nation. The next one would, I think they just had DC, and the next one that they'll be having is Chicago.
Okay, well, I know the vice chairman of the Congressional Motorcycle Caucus. His name is Van Orden. And so I don't know why I haven't got an invite yet, buddy, but that better happen. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. I
Okay,
think we can
I got a
make
bike
that
here. I don't have a car in DC, man. And I'll go real heavy with you cats. That's really important. You've been involved in the VA system for quite a while, since 2005, got blown up outside of Balad, rolled over and stuff. Have you seen an increase? I'd like to have some positive things here. Have you seen an increase in the VA's delivery of services, availability of services?
Yes, 100%. They've done an amazing job over the years to improve the care, access to care, and the opportunities or options available. But I will say, I'm in Military City, USA. There's a lot of resources in that area, so
Right.
it's definitely not the same all across the board.
Okay. Ms. Howell, you said recent changes to policy, or recent policy changes 2024 in reference to the ability to deliver care through the VA, is that correct?
Sir, the policy change that I mentioned was an internal policy decision made by VA when it comes to what the reimbursement rate is when it comes to certain features of a vehicle.
Okay. And the Board of Veterans Appeals, where do they reside? Do we
Down
know?
the street,
What's that?
down the street.
Okay. I would like to maybe pay them a visit and see what their rate of refusing claims is.
Sir, if I may,
Yeah.
no, the VA denies the reimbursement rate, at which point the veteran files the appeal to the board overturns that denial.
So they're a force for good or a force for bad?
When it comes to the reimbursement schedule rating, they are a force for good.
Well, then I'd like to go see him and bring him a cup of coffee then. That would be wonderful too. Good news story. Thank you for that. Mr. Landwehrmeyer, you said that you provide feedback to the SAH office. How responsive have they been to you?
Thank you, sir. Actually, pretty responsive, sir. As I mentioned, COVID, they were not able to travel. The agents were not able to travel, go out and inspect our homes.
Yeah.
So we offered to take photos and ship those back in, and they took those. And then we also are able to call them up at any time. We have usually probably twice a year Zoom calls with the leadership of the SAH branch, and we can give them the pluses and minuses, good, bad, and ugly, that we've been running up against as we go through the process. Some regions do really well, others are not quite as fast, and then sometimes within regions you have fast ones and slow ones. So we do provide them all that feedback.
Okay, so that is another good news story. Mr. Scrimshire, so for a domestic-powered side entry in-floor vehicle, $39,498, it should be $46,212. Structurally modified pickup truck, $38,601, it should be $45,163. Wheelchair backlift, $6,819, would be $7,980. Hey, so check it out. What you guys witnessed without knowing it was bipartisanship taking place, because me and Chris just hatched a plan to fix this. So we're going to write some legislation to catch you guys up. We'll introduce it together. It'll be a bipartisan effort, because this, again, is wholly unacceptable. So last thing, my time has expired, so I'm going to recognize the ranking member for any closing statements. We're out of here. Look, I get letters from the VA all the time. I'm 100% service-connected disabled vet. You can sign up for emails. They call you, right? So why in the hell do our disabled veterans not know about these programs? We know where they all are, sir and ma'am, sitting in the third row back there. We know where they are. We know their names. We know their addresses. We know their email addresses. We know their phone numbers. So for a single disabled veteran do not know that these programs exist or that you can get reimbursed, you can do trade-in and stuff like that is just stupid. It's 2025. We know where all of these people are. We literally can assign a geographic point to their house. So I'm making the strongest recommendation possible to fix this problem. Fix it. Email them, write them, and call them. You know what their disability rating is. You know where they live. No more, we're going to talk about this. We're excited about that. We're having a planning session on this. We're going to write their moms and call them. Stop it. I guarantee you the secretary is either unaware of this or he doesn't understand how large this problem is. And we operate on scale, and the scale for a veteran not knowing about this is 1. It ain't 2, it ain't 5, it's 1. If one of my veterans who got blown up overseas or God forbid something else happened to him doesn't know about this, it's your fault. It is. So fix it. I want to thank you all for coming. I do, all of you. I want to thank you, Mr. Owens, for your continued sacrifice to our country. I want to thank, are you married?
Yes, sir.
How's she doing?
Oh, she's doing great.
She's all right?
Been with me through everything.
All right, that's cool. That's wonderful to hear. Well, we're going to keep working together. You just figured out. I mean, we literally just hatched a plan to help fix this. That's what we're going to do. And we'll continue to consult with the Veterans Affairs Administration. I'm glad we got some really good news stories out of the VA because I love the VA. I mean, I love the VA. It's very simple. And with that, I'd like to ask unanimous consent that all members may have 5 days, legislative days, to revise and extend their remarks and include any extraneous materials. Without objection, so ordered. This hearing is adjourned.